Hello and thank you for watching. My name is Ashley Van Dyke, and on today's video, Building a Birdcage, I'm going to take you step by step how you can build a title page that includes a birdcage, and one that will meet all your needs. The first step in creating a birdcage is going to be either to open the file that you want to insert the birdcage into, or create a new file. This is something you're going to want to use a block file for. That way you can reuse the birdcage or title page again and again. So what I'm going to do is press Alt-E. I'm going to select my blocks folder, and I'm going to type in a new name for a file, or I'll select an existing block file if I want to change or create a new birdcage. I'm going to just call this file Birdcage. I'll hit enter and I'll click yes to create the file. So now I'm in a completely blank file. I can start by putting some case information in. So I've created a short header, and now we're going to get into the birdcage information. I'm going to press F8 and then I'll hit C until I get to caption box, and I'll press enter to insert my first caption box paragraph. And now I'm going to start inserting the text that I'd like. I'm going to press Control P to get to a new paragraph, and you'll note that it's a fixed paragraph, and for right now while I'm entering information, that's just fine. I'm going to make a few blank fields for the attorneys that are going to be representing both sides. Okay, and now I'm going to copy all of these blank fields because I can reuse them for the next part of the birdcage. So next I'm going to enter the defense information. And I've pasted in those blanks. So now I have a place for my plaintiff appearances as well as my defense appearances. However, only the first line currently has a caption box. So what I'm going to do is just highlight all of these lines, and I'll press F8, and I'm going to go down again to caption box, and that will automatically make all of the paragraphs that I had highlighted right into caption box for me. And so you see that each of these paragraph types has a parentheses all the way to the right. This character is put in automatically, and where this falls and what the character is itself is customizable. And if I try to type on a line and try to run into the parentheses, I'm simply not able to do so. It doesn't let me type to the right of that parentheses. And for certain parts of your document, that's exactly what you want. For these fields where you have attorney information with one piece of information on each line, you can use list files to automatically fill in all this information. And if you do that, you need to make sure that each of these fields is on its own paragraph. And typically, you don't want the right margin to go beyond the parentheses on those lines. And not being able to type to the right of the parentheses might be exactly what you want in some circumstances. Or if you're typing manually, setting a short right margin on your caption box lines can help make sure that your lines paragraph exactly where necessary according to your required format. However, there are places and jurisdictions or certain types of documents where you do need the caption box delineator, but you also need to type to the right of the caption box line. In many places, there will be an area in the document for the case number, and we often see that there will be a parentheses or whatever your birdcage character is in front of the case number. And so in that case, how would we enter the case number all the way to the right of this parentheses if we're not able to access any characters after the paren? In that case, what we would want to do is make a new paragraph type. Eclipse comes with many paragraph types that will help you meet your needs. However, Eclipse is also highly customizable. And so there may be times where you'll need to create a new paragraph type that will meet your needs. And so what I'm going to do is go into my user settings to the paragraphs tab. I'm going to highlight caption box and I'm going to click new. And I'm going to call this caption right because it will allow me to type to the right of the parentheses instead of to the left of the parentheses like caption box. And so now caption right is listed in my list of paragraph types, and caption box is also here. And so we see that for caption box, the right margin is 30 characters. And for caption right, currently that's the same. And so what I'm going to do I'm going to enter a case name on this first caption box line, and I'm going to change this from caption box to caption right. Now I'm going to adjust some settings on caption right, and we'll see how it impacts where that case number goes. So I'm going to choose paragraphs, caption right, and I'm going to adjust the right margin to give me plenty of space for that case number. And then what I'm going to do is adjust the indentation so that anything I type on caption right will come up after the parentheses. And so if I needed to, I could also change this line to caption right. And now I can type something like that and make sure that it appears immediately to the right of the parentheses. And so in this case, I'm using two different paragraph types that have similar settings, but I've adjusted the margins. So first, I have a caption right paragraph type, and this allows me to start typing to the right of the parentheses. Next, I have the traditional caption box paragraph, which allows me to type to the left of the parentheses and will wrap before overwriting the parentheses. This works great if you're using multi-line form fields with list files, especially for appearances like attorneys. However, you may need to interrupt those strings with paragraph types where you need to be able to type to the right of the parentheses. And in that case, this caption right paragraph type that I made can meet those needs. There's also another option that will allow you to meet all of your needs with one paragraph type. I can go to paragraphs. I can select caption right or caption box and do new. And I'll just call this one caption. And so here I'm going to change the indentation to 0 so that it'll start all the way to the left, and I'll press OK. And what I'm going to do is add another line here using the caption paragraph type. And so what this paragraph type would allow me to do is type some text on the left of the parentheses, and then I can hit Tab to move over and type to the right of the parentheses any extra information that is needed there. And so depending on the way your block files are set up and the way your workflow is set up, you might only need the traditional caption box paragraph type. However, if you find that you frequently need to adjust information to the right of the parentheses or symbol, then you can create additional paragraph types that will make that easier for you. Rather than just creating a fixed line and typing some information, and then maybe spacing over, manually inserting the paren, and then typing any information on the right, you can create paragraph types that will do that for you. And so you can use caption box to type to the left of the paren, and as soon as it hits the right margin, it's going to wrap automatically to a new line. You also have the option of using something like the caption right, where it will automatically take your cursor to the right of the paren. And you don't have to do any extra work to make sure that the paren stays in the correct place. If I go up to this line where I typed this parentheses in manually and I delete some text, then I have to go back in and move my parentheses back over. With these caption box lines, the parentheses is stuck. It's always going to be there and you can't move it. And so it makes it much easier for you to navigate, presuming that you understand how all of your paragraph types work. And so the last one that I made, I called just caption. And this one allows me to type left of the paren. However, it allows typing all the way through. It's not going to wrap me before the paren. However, there are some instances where users need to have a little bit of information over here. And with this type of paragraph, they can tab over and then enter whatever information they need on the right of the paren. And so you have fewer steps. And if you combine all of these functionalities, you can make sure that you have all of the different paragraph types that you need to make sure that you can do as little editing to your block files when you're filling them out as necessary. The whole point of a block file is that it's a form that you fill in. The only thing in your block file that you should have to change are these form fields. If you're making edits to any of the other text routinely after you've filled these in, or for any other reason, job after job after job, call us and we will help you fix it. Bird cages are a particular trouble. It can be confusing understanding how to manage these settings. But let's take a look at the paragraph settings that we have for each of them really quickly. So if I go to paragraphs, the first one we have here is the original caption box. This has a right margin of 30. The paren is at space 35. And so that will give you a nice little barrier between the right-hand side of the text and the paren. And that will wrap you to the next line. These lines are perfect when you're using multi-line list files to fill in multi-line form fields. You want to make sure that you have a short right margin, and you want to make sure that each of these fields is on its own line. And typically, each of these lines gets its own paren. And so this paragraph type will handle that seamlessly for you. Now let's take a look at this case number line. Many bird cages have a case number to the right of the paren. And so for this, to make this easier, that's why I created the caption right. This has a wide right margin to allow enough space for anything I need to type to the right of the paren. However, it has a really high indentation, which puts me to the character immediately to the right of the paren. That way, every time I insert one of these paragraph types, my cursor is exactly where I need it to be. Lastly, on the caption paragraph type, I've used this caption paragraph type as an open caption paragraph. It has the paren, but I can type anywhere that I need to. I can type as much text to the left of the paren as I'd like, but if I need to get to the right of it as well, I can just tab over to get there and type anything that I need. And so think of this list of paragraph types that you're given when you begin Eclipse as a foundation. This is just the starting point. There's a reason that you can create new paragraph types, and it's specifically for purposes like this. Not everyone requires these different caption box options. For some users, regular caption box with a right margin of 30 or 35 or maybe even 25, depending on the locality, is going to work out perfectly for their whole birdcage. But other users may have different needs and they may need to utilize other caption box options. But one thing that I want to emphasize with this video is that if you have a birdcage, there is never a single reason on earth to type in your own parentheses or whatever. Don't ever do that. If you're doing that, call us and we'll help you fix it. Now let's talk about the parentheses itself. Does your birdcage have to be built out of parentheses? No. That is why it is called a birdcage, because it looks like a birdcage. However, the paragraph type has a specified character used. And so if I select caption box and choose advanced, where it says default label, this is what the caption box paragraph type is going to use. And I can click this button, select the paren and click change label to change this to any other character. And so in this case, I'm going to highlight it, delete it, and I'm going to put in a fun character. I'm going to put in the legal section code character, which is Alt 0167. And you see that that is now my label. I can press OK and OK. And all of my parens were changed to that S symbol. And you'll note that I only changed one of the paragraph types. So why did that happen? That's because the paragraph types were all sharing the same default label. There's a short list of default labels. So you only have to change one of them in order to make that change throughout your document. And so rather than having to type in or manually change a dozen different parens to this S symbol for one client, I was able to just make that change universally through my document in one step. And so again, I implore you, do not type your own Birdcage symbols. Let us fix your block files so that they work for your use case. When you're filling in your block files, if you are routinely having to make an adjustment to the settings or to where a word is located, call us and we'll help you fix it. Birdcages are complicated, and we can also help you fix yours if you're having issues with it. And again, if you need a symbol other than the paren, all you have to do is go to your user settings, go to the paragraphs tab, select caption box and advanced, select default label, and select the label currently in use and click change label. You can change it back to the paren, or you can change it to any symbol you'd like. I've seen a variety of symbols from a variety of different formats. Whatever symbol that you need, you can put it in here as long as it's a symbol that works in Eclipse. You can typically use alt code inserts, such as this one, to insert a symbol to use instead. So anything that you're required to put here, you're going to be able to put here. And as soon as you make a change, that change will immediately be reflected in your document. Another important thing that you need to know about caption boxes, in addition to how to change which symbol you get, is how to change where the symbol goes. The default location for these symbols is tab stop 35 or character 35 on your document. Each of these paragraph types that I created has a tab stops option. And if I click that, it's going to be 35 for each of these by default. I'm going to click delete, and I'm going to change the default caption box paragraph type to place the paren at 30 instead of 35. And you see that all of the paragraphs that are using the caption box format have now jumped to the parentheses to the left, but those using caption right and caption haven't yet. So I'm going to choose caption right, advanced, tab stops. I'll add 30 and I will delete 35. Close, okay, and those hop right over. And last, let's choose caption. There's two more here and here. So I'll choose advanced, tab stops. I'll add 30 and delete 35. And now all of my tab stops for all of my different paragraphs moved right over. However, any parens that I had manually typed in, I gotta move. Please stop moving your parens. We beg you. We will help you. Please call us. Birdcages can be confusing, but whatever system you need set up, we can help you do. So don't be afraid to create new paragraphs where you need them, even if someone else doesn't need the same thing. And if you need any help along the way, don't hesitate to give us a call. If you do create any new Birdcage paragraphs, or you change any settings to your existing paragraphs, you need to keep in mind that if you've had a document open, those settings are only going to apply to that new document. And so what you need to do, if you want those settings to apply to all your future documents, once you've finalized your Birdcage and your Birdcage paragraph settings, we're going to go into our user settings, to the paragraphs tab. And here, if we look at caption box, we see caption right and caption as well. But up at the top, if I choose master format, I only have caption box. So in the future, if I tried to read this document in, it wouldn't be able to recognize the new caption and caption right paragraphs I made. So what I'm going to do, once I have everything the way that I want it from now on, I'm going to open my user settings, and in the paragraphs tab, I'm going to choose current document, and I'm going to copy that to my master format. Now when I choose master format, I not only have caption box, but I have caption right and caption, and they have the settings that I've specified in this document that I have open, and they'll be available to use forever in the future. Don't forget that we offer anytime support. Tech support can be reached with any question, anytime, including weekends and holidays at 772-288-3266. Email support is also available at support@eclipsecat.com. Thank you for watching this video. Please hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so that you'll be notified when we publish new content in the future. Thank you so much and have a great day.